can talk. Hello, folks, and welcome to Tuesday Night Beat Chat. Tom is here. I did find him, and he's hiding in Gatlinburg. So I had to snoop around pretty good to find him tonight. So welcome, Tom.
Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you.
I'm just sitting in my little hotel room.
Well, okay. As your wife permits you to be part of this, that would be cool. I mean, I hope she doesn't fuss.
No, she's going to take a walk, I think.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll take you as long as we can have you.
She could jump on here and say hi, but she don't want to.
Okay. Hey, Lynn, we have the same wedding anniversary.
Oh, how interesting.
Yes.
Just years apart. I know, isn't that funny?
That's weird.
Yeah, 17th of October.
Yep.
92 and 2000. What did you put down? 9?
2017 we got married.
17.
So yeah, we're kind of still like newlyweds, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, that is what kind of funny though.
Well, there's only 365. We should do that sometime. Everyone should put their birthday in, just the day and the year, but everybody's got to fit into 365 days. So the chances of having your birthday be someone else's is extremely high, I think.
Yeah, but this is anniversary day.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Let's see, who do we have? Hi, Rick. Hi, Dante, Randy, Mike. Who else is in here? Barnhill. Hi, Barnhill.
Hi, Barnhill. I don't have comments since I'm on my phone. I forgot my laptop. Like, oh, bummers.
All right. And I know Stu was on real early, like at 4:00, which
Wow.
I hope he comes back.
I know Gary Stewart was on.
Yeah, Stu. I call him Stu. I don't know. I guess just because of Stewart.
Yeah.
But so there's some interesting things going to happen tonight. And first of all, hello, Brian from Colorado. First and foremost, I want people to have fun. I don't want this to be stuffy. I don't want this to be a commercial. I just want it to be, beekeepers talking bee smack and just having fun.
Well, we got Brian in the comments. That has to be good.
I know. In Colorado too. Westcliff, John. Colorado and Colorado too. Also, you should be TOO.
I gotta find a way to get comments.
I wish you could see comments, because I kind of need you to yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm in StreamYard right now and I don't see them. If I was on YouTube, I would.
Hold on. I was on Bill's the other night and I was on my phone, and there's something in the lower left corner, and then it will go to chat, comments and something else. Now you won't be able to see me and you, which is that's okay, but you'll be able to see the comments.
All right, I see microphone,
Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
comments.
Mr. Lee. Mr. Good Luck Lee.
All right. All right, Nancy, that's
You
perfect. 'Cause
find you, you
I don't want
found it?
no offense, but I don't need to see you or I.
No, Mm-mm.
So Mike, Andrew, John, Brian and John, Bill Lee, yeah, and John, West Cliff. That's awesome.
So, what did I do in my bee yard this week? And then we'll ask you, Tom. Or Tom, why don't you go first? What did you do in the bee yard this week?
Oh man, my thing fell over a little stand. Well, I have, let me, StreamYard's messing up on me.
Well, we can hear you fine. I mean, you're
Okay,
you're
that's
you're
good. All right, I'm good.
okay.
I had 4 little splits that I did last month that didn't have queens in them yet. And I stole a queen from a hive that I sold to a new beekeeper that really needed a queen. You know how that is this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I cut 4 cells and I put them in the cells and actually in the cages in each of the hives on Saturday. Actually, I did it on Sunday this week, and now I'm down here in Gatlinburg, so they should emerge out sometime today or actually they should have emerged out today, yesterday, late yesterday or today. But being emergency cells, it's a little bit hard to tell within 3 days exactly when they're coming out. But I got them in cages inside each of the hives of the splits. It didn't have a queen. So when I get back on Saturday, she should be in her cage, and I'll release her. That'll be her basically her 5th day. She came out yesterday or today. It's the 4th day, and then she should be able to make a mating flight then that day or the next day.
Hi, Darren.
That's what I've been doing.
Okay.
So I haven't pulled all my honey yet. We've been getting rain. We got rain today. That's what I saw on radar. We got rain yesterday. We've gotten rain all but 4 days. Well, 3 days for me in July. We set another record for the most rain in a month. So that's 3 months out of the year we have set records, all-time records, and we've been in the top 10 or top 15 every month. It's been unbelievable wet. I still got to wear my boots to
Oh,
walk out to my apiary, or I'll get my shoes all muddy. And
wow.
we're talking almost August now, and usually by now the ground is splitting with big cracks.
Yeah. Mine's
Unbelievably
just
wet.
starting to do that. I have a couple cracks going on down there.
The good news is
So it's
the clover and the Rose of Sharon have been nuts. So we actually still got a flow going on. It's not a big flow like the springtime, but we still got a flow going on.
does Rosa Sharon, do they work that?
Oh yeah, they work it big time.
Good, because I'm starting a couple of them. I have some volunteers around the yard, and they're starting to pop up. So good. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's a good nectar and pollen source. I think it's more nectar than anything.
Yeah, I have
So,
to look at my Peter Lintner book
and
about
the
that.
clover, yeah, I don't know for sure. I haven't looked either. The clover is still clover is still unbelievable around my area because it's been so wet. Hasn't been hot and hasn't burned up yet.
Hi,
Like a
Pennsylvania.
hey, Pennsylvania. Yeah, so I still got 16, 22. I still got like 23 supers I left on just because I think the summer flow is going to be better than the spring flow.
Hmm.
It's been a crazy year, and I've heard Greg up in Centerville, Ohio, say he's got goldenrod blooming. Heard other people saying they got goldenrod blooming just a little bit north of me. So I know in another week or two I'm going to have goldenrod blooming. So
Hi,
we're going to
Grayson.
have we're going to have zero dirt this year. We're going to have flow. Well, we had no flow in the spring to a summer flow to a fall flow.
Hi, Lee. Kodiak Farms is in.
Hey, Bond here and Kodiak. Yeah, that's Lee. Hey,
Um,
Lee.
I wonder if Pennsylvania, are you seeing, since he's a truck driver and drives a lot around Pennsylvania, are you seeing any goldenrod in any of the hollows or the lower elevations that get cooler at night?
Yeah, that'd be good. The old early goldenrod.
Yeah, I'm curious. I have quite a bit of it now since I've been on this property. Yes, okay. He is. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
s- yeah,
So
I
you
don't
should
know
be
if, go ahead.
Nancy. You should be seeing it soon.
Yeah, I know the places on my property that it is, and I haven't gone up. It's up on one of the trails, so I'll have to go up and look and see what that development is. Although I don't like goldenrod, I don't want any of that. But yeah, I mean it's a good indicator on what's going on. Sure,
Well,
sure.
yeah, and especially how wet it is. I think I started beekeeping in 2018, and we have not had a fall flow since then. And I can confirm with all my experienced beekeepers have been doing it for generations. They said
Yeah.
2015 was the last time for my area. And I think since now it's supposed to rain again to the end of, it's supposed to rain Thursday, then we're supposed to get in some drier weather. So if that's the case, we're going to probably have a pretty good fall flow. So I bought already almost 700 pounds of sugar. I don't think I'm going to need it this year. I think there's going to be enough of a fall flow to fill all the hives up. At least it looks that way.
Well, I started feeding. I started feeding already. Uh, just because I can never start too early. And I didn't have much
Yeah.
of a flow at all. I'd taken my supers off weeks ago. So
Yeah, see, I'm holding mine on, and I want to feed them, but I still got supers on them. I'm going to take a look at them when I get back from my vacation next week, and I might pull them then and start feeding them.
hi
But
Keith.
hey Keith, hey Randy, Bundy. I
Hi
already said,
Bundy.
yeah,
Hi Bundy.
yeah,
The
yeah.
little
You
white
said,
dog is gonna bark here. Hold on. Take it away, Tom.
all right. So I haven't started feeding. I haven't started. Well, I'm not treating anymore. I'm basically a non-treater anymore. At least I'm trying not to be. I have to commit. I want to treat them, but so far I've only had one hive that was bad on me with mites, and that was a swarm. So as of right now, all my hives are healthy, and that's 50 hives. So I'm
Mm.
I really I really have a theory going on between farmers and beekeepers and mites.
Uh-oh.
Because you
What's
back,
your theory?
Nancy?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'll be gone in a second. He had to go out, so he's out nooching around. But go ahead.
My theory is farmers spray their farm with pharmacy, then fungal, and then pedicettals through this spring and summertime. And I think that really hurts all the species, bees and etc. And I'm in the process. All my bees at my place are more than 3 miles, 5 miles away from any farmers, except for, little people with their backyard gardens. I don't call them farmers.
Right.
My other property is within a half mile from a large set of farmers between the Great Miami River and the Whitewater River. There's a whole flood field there, and it's all farms. And I have issues with mites, and I have issues with keeping those hives alive during the wintertime because they feeding off the farmers. So I see a large correlation between my apiary, my home apiary, and my second apiary about needing to treat and having healthy hives. My hives at my property don't need treating and they're healthy. My hives in Hooven, you can look up Hooven, Ohio, right at the Great Miami River. I'm actually on the west side of the Great Miami River. I cross over it in between on the hill between the Great Miami River and the Whitewater River. Probably about 2 miles from the Ohio River. And anywhere upstream from there, it's all farm fields, corn and soybean. And I can't keep hives alive through the wintertime at that property very well. It's a fight every year between mites, and I don't call it mites, I call it chemicals. Chemicals weaken the bees so much that we have high mites. I have high mites in those hives. And the only difference is farm fields versus non-farm fields. So I have a theory on that. I've never seen, I want to ask a scientist in the state of Ohio about doing a thesis, one of the college kids doing a thesis on that and see if there's any probability of
Yeah.
the relationship.
So there's a Darren from Pennsylvania asks about, are you doing any UBO testing or anything else?
Well, not OBO, but other testing was just having mites. And every year I have Randy over to test my hives so I can sell bees. And last year he didn't test any of my hives. And so far this year, because the last 4 years, he comes up with zeros and ones every time. And he goes, I don't need to test your hives anymore. Your hives are healthy as can be.
So my
So
inspector does not test for mites. Why is my inspector looks for disease?
Mine does both disease, and he checks about 3 out of 20, 3 out of 30. So, 5% of them. And he's never, he of all the years, he's found one mite.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I stopped treating. It's not because I'm not a non-treater. I just don't need to treat.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer. I'm an engineer, and I try to put logic of why that is. And then I have my other property where it does have mites, and I just throw this out there. Could the farmers be the reason we have mites? I look at the almond fields, and that's farmers. They're farming trees, and they spray the hell out of those almond trees. And those almond fields are mite-festing fields. I truly believe there's a relationship between mites and farms. But
Yeah,
I don't have any scientific proof. It's just my hypothesis.
Right. Just your experience, your life experience as being a beekeeper.
Yes.
Yep.
That's why I don't say anything.
Yeah, we see trends.
And I don't discourage anybody from not treating their bees because I think most people have their bees by their farms. or on their farms.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I
And where,
talked to,
like where I'm at, we have 600 beekeepers in my county. Well, probably at least that. And the county next to us has probably 700, 800 beekeepers. So that's the other thing I'm up against here. I'm not in a rural area where I don't have, I've got beekeepers within a mile of me in any direction.
yeah, so
So,
do I.
it's kind of like, you, well, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them have my queens because I've given them to them or sold them for like $5, Persian queens. So
Mhm.
they all got the similar genetics over the years,
Okay.
which helped. I kind
So,
of done that. I've kind of done that deliberately because I wanted to have good genetics. I'm lucky. My brother lives in Amish territory, and I catch Swiss swarms off his property every year. In fact, I'm putting 4 traps out there next year, and I
mm,
and I've and they don't treat their hives, so I know I got good genetics coming off of them. So
yeah.
between Corey Stevens and uh, Jason Briggs is out in West Virginia, and the little skinny man, I can't think of his God, I can't think of his name again. I got his genetics of VHS Queens since 2019. So between that VHS genetics and catching Amish Queens swarms, I should say, not queens, but that's what I'm really Amish Queens. I don't have to treat my property anymore, which I'm lucky.
Well, I hope it has a sustainability for you. Like you can sustain the not treating part. Like
Yeah.
I just get worried, the first year in, the second year in, I just, if that's what you want to do, I hope it works out for you.
Well, this is last 3 years I've only done acrylic acid vapor in December and January. And this
Hmm.
year I decided not to do any. So this is my first full year of doing zero in the winter time. At least that's my plan. I haven't seen any of my hives not being hit. All my hives look good so far. In fact,
Yeah.
all my hives look the best they've ever looked. So
Hmm.
yeah, I some of that's due because I'm retired and I have time to manage
Look,
them a little bit better
yeah.
since
And
April.
you've been retired since April, so
Yeah,
you've had a season or the spring to kind of be there every day, all day, if you want to, do that.
right. So
Um,
it's not 100% true fidelity, but yeah. And I've never seen wing virus. I haven't seen any of these viruses that people talk about from the mites or the small eye beetles.
oh, really? Deformed wing virus? Oh,
Yeah, I've never
I
seen.
have that. K wing, string wing, bee paralysis. I have sac brood. I mean, not now. I mean, maybe now, but over the years, I've had sac brood. I had
Yeah,
my first small hive beetle infestation the other day, which was very traumatic. Um, so I can talk about that later, but
yeah.
yeah.
I haven't. I haven't seen any of that stuff, and
Hmm.
I can't put a finger on why, except that I'm not. My properties. I live in a really hilly area, and Mark Miller can attest. It's hilly and it's steep hills, so there's no farms. I mean,
Oh.
I got 3 retaining walls, pretty big retaining walls to hold my property back, so I have some
Mm.
semi-flat land.
Um, So maybe that topography is what keeps pests and critters from traveling. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I don't know either. I just don't know.
yeah.
I don't have farms. The closest farm to me is across the Ohio River, which is 4 miles away on the
Yeah.
plateau in Kentucky, actually.
So Brian from Flower Street is saying deformed wing is fairly common for them out there. It's often the first sign of mite problems. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too, Brian. Deformed wing, or the other one that I get pretty quick or fat early on symptoms is the bee paralysis, where bee doesn't have any of the little fuzzy hairs, and it spins around and buzzes and carries on and just acts way different than any other bee, in my colony. So Brian, what do you do when you see deformed wing?
Yeah, Nancy. And I have not seen any of that ever. So
Mm,
I'm trying to figure out why I don't see it and other people do, like Brian. And
I don't know.
since 2019, I got on the bandwagon saying treat, 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 treat. And I
Yeah,
did. And I had a bad experience
right.
with Formic Pro, and I kind of went with April Guard and Apivar strips and stuff like that, and oxalic acid vapor. And a few years ago, I stopped doing that, and I started doing we're using that silica, and getting very high humidity and high temperature, and then do oxalic acid vapor. And then I
Mhm.
stopped doing that because my inspector Randy kept coming up with zeros and ones. He goes, "Well, just keep doing what you're doing." And I said,
Yeah.
"Okay, that's very minimal." So, and I'm still good friends with Earl, who's out in Virginia in the mountains, and Houston. I don't know if you remember Houston.
I don't remember Earl either. Earl or I don't remember either one of them.
Okay, well, they're two Smoky Mountain beekeepers, and neither one of them two have to treat their hives, and they don't have farmers because they're in the mountains.
I wonder if it has something to do with the like I said, the
The
ebbs and
climate.
flows of the land, the topography, how it goes up and down and sharp points, and yeah,
Right.
interesting.
Yeah. That's
So Brian, I asked Flower Street. You can't see the comments here. So I asked
yeah,
Flower
I
Street
can
what
see
he
them.
does. I treat for mites. But okay. But what do you
Yeah.
do? So okay. So
April guard.
no, Queen Bee. He's not. Tom's not planning on doing any treatments.
Yeah,
Bye, honey.
I'm going to do
Um,
my last treatment will be December of 24. Silic acid vapor treatment. When it was like 49, 50 degrees. Just around, it was right around, I think it was just a few days after Christmas. It was my last treatment.
so when I get symptoms of mites, um, I don't always treat. Not exactly, but in the moment when I see that is when I do my DFM. Um,
Yeah.
that in the moment of seeing the symptoms of the viruses is when I try to start turning them around. Now, I will do mite treatments depending on the temperatures and things like that. I'll come and study it and think about, okay, now what am I going to do for the mite part? But when I start to see symptoms of the viruses, then I will do a direct feed microbial, and I've been able to turn them around uh,
Okay.
pretty
Did you
quickly
see,
with
did you see Randy's comment? saying I have 500 acres of corn, and I have
Okay.
100 hives, and I don't have a mite problem. Yeah, so it's not corn, or maybe it's not corn.
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with corn. Let's
Yeah,
see where he's at. I'm looking in my book here. I'm looking in my book to see where he's at.
he's on
Uh,
stage, he says. He's on stage with you, he says.
who?
Randy? Or he's on stage with me.
You didn't share your
No,
you
I
didn't
didn't share.
share.
No, because I'm on my phone. And right now I only see comments. I don't even
Yeah.
see ourselves.
I don't see anybody saying they're on the I don't see
Okay.
anybody saying they're on the there's nobody here. There's nobody on the state on the whatever we
Queen
call it.
Bee asked me if I'm doing any VM wash. I did 2 weeks ago and I came up with one mite, 3 hives, my 3 biggest hives. So,
One.
yeah,
But that's just so the other thing too is when we talk about doing mite washes, always keep in mind that that's the phoretic mite that's on the
bee.
traveling on the bee for moving from point A to point B. Not necessarily. So Randy Oliver's graft, and don't quote me on this because we can just look it up real quick, but is what 75-80% of the mites are under the cappings. So mite washes
Yeah.
aren't the all in all. Ohio. Okay, he's in Ohio. Oh, he's
Hey,
in
Rick.
Ohio. So see, Randy's in Ohio with you. Or Ohio's a
Yeah.
big state. I do know that.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's something to do with maybe it's something to do with the state of Ohio.
But yeah, so I mean, mite washes tell part of the story. They don't tell the whole. Hi, Kimberly. They don't tell the
Right,
whole
Kimberly?
story. So the health of your colony, evidence of disease. Um, there's a lot of different things going on as far as what other than mite washes, which mite washes are great, but they only tell part of the story.
Right. I don't. Yeah, I'm going to do a YouTube. I mean, a video. Probably I'm going to wait till the end of September because everybody talks about the September mite bombs. I'm going to wait till
Mm,
the end of September and I'm going to do a YouTube and step through every one of my hives, how big they are, how strong they are, how well, what stage they are at the end of September going into fall. And then the next
right.
spring, I'm going to put out another YouTube doing the exact same thing. And
To
that'll tell
compare.
everybody where I'm at. And it'll tell me where I'm at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not one of those no treatments going to say you should never treat your hives. I think most people have to treat their hives. I'm just lucky, I believe. Or I've done
Mhm,
a good job with my getting good swarms from the Amish and doing VHS queens
mhm.
that I've got the right genetics that I don't have to be as concerned as most people.
Oh, Kimberly picked up a Hive Butler from Hilco. I
Okay.
can afford those. Those are neat. Those are neat. I'd love to
Yeah, they
have
are.
one, but let's see, Mike, do you stop feeding when dearth starts? No, we feed when dearth starts. We do you stop feeding when dearth starts? So bees start making no, Mike. We don't
Yeah.
stop feeding. We start feeding with dearth. You can, or you can already have honey on for them, but they will start making winter bees shortly, depending where you're at. Again, always location, location, location. But for me and north of Philadelphia over here, mine starts somewhere in August when she shuts down for a little bit and then she picks up again, and that's when she starts her Dilanthus. You know, I can never say the word. I can never pronounce it correctly. Um, Dilanthus is the winter, the fat-bodied winter bee.
Yeah, mine's
Hey,
usually
Peabody.
mine's probably two weeks after that, probably 1st of September.
Central Illinois. So who's from Central Illinois? Would that be JW? Would that be that crew, the JW crew? Central Illinois?
Central Illinois, yeah. And Ryan says I'm in a good location, not the tree. Yeah. And I got 3 rivers within a mile and a half of me. The Ohio River, Great Miami, and the Whitewater River. They have plenty of water. And
Yeah.
all the Indians were right around where I was at. So you can find arrows everywhere, everywhere. Just dig a couple feet and you'll find an arrow. And
Oh. So I don't know if there's any real way for us backyard beekeepers, sideliners to identify winter bees. They look the same, their cell size is the same, but I think from what I've learned over the years, it correlates with when they start getting rid of the drones because they can't
yeah,
feed the drones. They can't the drones will drain resources from the colonies that they need to support those fat-bodied winter bees. So it's right around that time, and I'm about in the past, I've been about 2 weeks behind Pittsburgh when they start. So we're kind of where Tom is. When Tom starts talking about how they're getting rid of the drones, that means throwing out the mature drones, not pulling out drone larvae, but not allowing the mature drones back into the colonies. When they start doing that or start pushing them out, right around that time is when she starts her laying for the winter bees.
yeah. And Nancy, I think one observation I have noticed that when I get in my bees September, October to make some down, they're in the bottom box so they can eat their way up through winter. I notice they only fly up a couple inches and land right back down into the hive. They don't they don't want to fly. They
Well,
want to
from what I've
they,
learned
they,
is they do not leave the hive at all. They don't leave the hive. They don't
well,
fly.
yeah, and the ones that do won't fly more than 3 or 4 seconds. So they'll hover up over the hive and fly right back in because they don't want
Huh.
to destroy the wings. And I think they know
Oh,
that. I think they know that because bees, they only can fly for 2 weeks. Bees don't die because of old age. They die because their wings deteriorate after two
yeah,
weeks of flying. I I
yeah.
truly believe those winter bees know not to fly. And that's the only reason I believe that's the only reason why they
I
can
don't
live
think they can. I don't
6
think they. I
months.
don't think they don't fly. They don't leave the
They can
colony.
well, in the springtime when it warms up, they become your early foragers. And then they'll die because they're flying.
That'd be interesting. That would be. I wish
That's
there was a way.
that's my understanding that in March or in our region, sometimes you have that early February, the bees will fly. Those are your winter bees flying. And if they fly more than 2 weeks worth, they're dead and your hive shrinks. And when March comes, you have a cold spell in March and your hive dies because there's not enough winter bees left. That's my understanding.
Yeah, I don't know, Keith. I don't think the Dilanthus or Dilanthus. I don't think they fly. And yes, I have bees that fly in 42-degree rain and they're flying. So we do have 5 days eliminate. So if they don't fly, it'd be interesting, like how are they eliminating? Where's that happening?
Well,
But
I believe Nancy winter bees know not to fly if they don't have to.
right, right. They don't they
But
don't they don't have any foraging. They don't have any desire to forage or collect nectar or water or all those things that the other bees do in spring and fall. They don't have that
well, I
trait
think
to
in fall, I
want to.
think they do. And I think when the warm weather starts happening in February and March, I think they do because they're the only mature bees. Those are your early foragers trying to get the
I want to
first
get somebody on to talk
maple
about
bloom.
it.
That's
I like
my
to get somebody
that's
on.
what I thought.
I like to get somebody on to talk about it. Let me see if I can find somebody that has an expertise in that field. Speaking of expertise, they fly enough to do cleansing flights. Yeah, I know. I'm just curious about all that. So one thing
Yeah.
I do, so August 4th, which is next week already, next Tuesday night, I'm going to have Robin Underwood as a guest speaker to talk about lanternfly
Mm.
honey. So all you guys that got all wigged out about lanternfly poop, I have the the
The
gal who
expert.
is the lanternfly gal, Robin Underwood's coming on next week to talk. I don't know what time, whatever time suits her. I'm not gonna, whatever time between 7 and 9 that works for her, we'll let her in. So August 4th, and I will have. So did you notice the night box? Did you see the night box, Tom?
Yes, I
In the
have.
chat box?
Yes, I have.
So I did, they're all three happening at, I don't know, like, so I put timers on them. And I didn't want them all to go off at the same time, but they
It
are.
looks like they
So
did.
yeah. Well, there's more coming. There's some that are set for an hour. And some, see, I've been on 42 minutes. So I think a lot of them. So we're gonna have some giveaways tonight. We're gonna have Bruce. Bruce is gonna come on and talk a little bit about giving away honey, and then Ryan from Peabody is gonna be giving away honey. So we'll have a
Okay.
little, you're gonna do a hashtag, and I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Do you pay? No, we do not.
Well, you did in your
So
subscription.
no, it's just free. I just got the free version. I just set up the free version, lots of different things on it.
Okay.
Um,
Is that in studio or is that in StreamYard?
it's its own entity.
Oh,
It's its
okay.
own entity.
I have to look that one up.
You connect, just like you know how we connect StreamYard to YouTube. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. It connects to
Nightfall.
YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like, yeah, I didn't want them to be so close together, but I don't know. I'll fix all that. It's just tonight's gonna be just kind of like a winging it here and to see how it works, and then to see if the giveaway. So Saturday morning, I've had some people approach me about having a chat Saturday morning. Um, so I thought, well, let's just see what happens with it. So Saturday I did. It was 15-20 minute warning that I was going to have a chat, and there was about 5 of us on. And I did some experiment with the night bots on Saturday. So if anybody's interested in Saturdays as a regular deal, let us know, because I'm sure we can find somebody that wants to run a Saturday morning chat. And in the winter, I wouldn't mind at all. I wouldn't mind running, but you don't want me on twice. I don't want to
Nancy,
run
what time was that Saturday? That was pretty early, wasn't it?
10 o'clock. 10
Was it
o'clock.
10?
I want to say 9:30, 10 o'clock,
Yeah,
something
I
like
think I
that. Now, if
missed it. I missed it by a couple minutes, like 5
mm,
minutes.
and we were only on for 15-20 minutes. Like it was short,
Okay.
short and sweet, just to kind of just to run some of the giveaway clocks and stuff like that.
Right.
But I would do like if I were to do a regular Saturday in the winter, I think I would do like a 9 o'clock Eastern. So then your kids on the West Coast there, if they'd get up at 8 or in the
Right.
middle.
Right.
So I don't know. Oh, Grayson
Yeah.
has something at 10. Grayson's premiere. What? Grayson, are you still on here?
Oh, crap.
I didn't know Grayson had something at 10 or on Saturdays.
Me either.
That's a good slot. Anybody that's wanting to do a chat, I think really should start focusing on Saturday mornings. Or even Sunday mornings if you go to St. Mattress. That would be
I do
to
a
get
chat
that.
during my church service. That'd be
St.
fun.
Mattress. Yeah, the church folk. But anyway, all right. Well, so anyway, I want to recap on some other things that we had been talking about earlier in the week. We talked about feeding buckets and where to get them for less and the tint plugs and things like that. But did I win? You won the same thing you won last time, Mike. He was on
Absolutely
Saturday.
nothing.
And I kept spinning like I was saying, type in this word or type in this number, and they were doing it. They were great. It was like 5 of them, and they were great. They were doing it, and I didn't whatever. So we were talking about buckets. We were talking about pails and that sort of thing. And I really think that part of my problem last year with not getting them to come up to weight, which was my issue. I was feeding and feeding and feeding. And I was getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And and then it got cold, but I just could not get them to put on weight last year. So I'm thinking that maybe my rapid rounds are not what I need to put on the drench. In fall we drench feed, spring we trickle feed, but the drench part. So my rapid rounds, I do lots of things with those. However, trying to drench feed with them maybe isn't what I need to do. So I'm looking more at bucket feeding. I do have some buckets and I do have them on thin syrup now. But I think there's a little bit of a flow to, oops, Tom's gone. I think there's a little bit of a flow going on too, because they're storing. There's a lot. There's not only the feeding, but there's also others that aren't being fed that are storing. So with that being said, I can't pay $10 a bucket. I just can't do it. So I'm looking for alternative methods or ways to be able to get that drench feed on. I run 8 frames, so I cannot put frame feeders in. I just don't have the room for that. So ePackages was one that does the bulk buy. Good night, Lee. Thanks for coming. Good night. So there's bulk buys for the buckets from ePackages. So they can buy like 200 buckets and things like that. So some of you commercial guys that are wanting to go that route, I think the bucket without the lid was I think if you bought 200 of them was $1.43 or something like that, and the lid was under $1. Now, of course, they don't have tint plugs and all of that. So there's some labor involved, but wintertime, what else do you got to do, right? So the other thing that I looked at, and I remembered I talked to a friend of mine who's a beekeeper up in the northeast area, New Hampshire. Well, Mike from New Hampshire. So I talked to him because we had talked months ago about paint buckets. Hi, Tiny Creek. Talked about buckets, paint cans. So you get them from a paint supply or online or whatever, and they should be, what did he say? Lined, epoxy lined. So the inside needs to be lined. And I did look some of those up. Those are running a little more, maybe $4 or $5 a piece for the 1 gallon cans. And they're lined, the lined ones. So the sugar syrup will eat, it eats concrete, so it's gonna eat that thin tin. However, Mike was telling me that you can get 4, or he can get 5. I think he runs 10 frame. He can get 5 1 gallon pint cans. And it's real easy. Just take up an old paint can and set them in and see how many fit. But so I was like, oh, well, I could maybe get 3, possibly 4 on an 8 frame. And he said, yeah. And then you could put one above the inner cover, which you could do that, or you can just put them straight on the frames on little. I remember when you first started and you put the glass jar on little sticks. Remember, I don't know if you did that when you got your first nuke to feed all the time. But you want to do that same theory if you put them straight on the frames. You want to put some sort of paint stir or some sort of shim or something so that they can come at it from different angles and not just straight up underneath. But anyway, so I talked to him a little bit about that, and the paint cans are kind of more expensive than the 1 gallon buckets.
And Nancy, I was like, I get my buckets from U.S. Plastics. They're in Lima, Ohio, which is 2 hours north of me. And I think my buckets are 98 cents, and I want to say the lids are 23 cents
Jeez.
the
But you
last
pick
time.
up. You go up
Did
and
you
pick up.
And I go up and pick up.
Tell me again. I'm gonna Google. Tell me what's the name of that company?
U.S. Plastics in Lima, Lima, Ohio.
Elmira. Oh, here you go. I found it. All right.
And they usually have clearance sales on 1 gallon, 2 gallon buckets all the
All right.
time.
Wow. So here we go. Tell me what you can see, Tom. Oh, I don't.
Well, that's glass.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay, buckets.
Type in
Here we go.
1 gallon buckets. Yeah,
Buckets. Round plastic buckets.
there you
Here we
go.
go. Here we go. So, I only need. Well, I didn't, since I talked to Mike. I went down and did some other things, but I want to see if I can get 2 1 gallon buckets on my 8 frame. That would be
No,
super cool if I could do. Okay, so here,
I don't
1
know.
gallon. Tom, do we know what the mill is? Oh,
Uh,
70 mil. Okay.
that 70 is pretty good for a 1 gallon bucket.
And I put mine, so I put oh, and here's the lid. Oh, look, they're $4, Tom.
$4. Well, they've
Yeah.
gone up. I used to get them for cheap. I haven't bought buckets in a while.
Pallets cannot ship by you. Okay. So 520.
What bucket you on?
It's a regular white premium 1 gallon, 70 mil. But that's the part,
Okay.
like if you're keeping your buckets out in the sun and
Yeah,
the weather, you probably want to go with the 90 mil. I put an empty super around, so mine aren't actually in the weather directly, not getting directly cooked, but
yeah, mine do.
Yeah, yours are purple.
Well, that's because I had a discount on them. I got them
Yeah,
really less expensive. I have white ones and purple ones, but
yeah.
my problem is not the buckets itself; it's the lids that deteriorate first. They start cracking.
Mm, let's go look at this just for just to see what this mill is here on this one. Now again, this is just to get people started on a search. This is not the end all of the search.
Yeah,
Are these even food grade or the blah, 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 blah. So these are you're looking at 460 probably till they ship 5 something. Oh, these are cool. Look at these. You
yeah,
can see
yeah. You can see through them, so
three
you
and
can
a
see the
half
level.
gallons. Yeah, you can't go that high on. I don't think that would be advisable to go 3.5 gallon. Oh, here you go, 1 gallon. Here's 1 gallon. Here's 1 gallon. That's cool.
So yeah, it's a
Huh.
2 hour drive for me, so it's not a big deal for me to pick them up.
Right.
One time in
Well,
my life, I had a girlfriend that lived in Lima, Ohio, long
that
time
was a
ago.
while ago, huh?
Yeah, back in the 80s.
We uh I will pay Bob Binney and the buckets he sells because it's already drilled with a tint plug. Yeah, I know, Tiny Creek.
Yeah,
I know. And I got my buckets. I don't know, when you're at the expo, like I don't know, Tiny Creek, if you went to the expo or not, but when you go to the expo, sometimes you buy things from different people and you just don't remember exactly who. I don't know if I bought any from Bob Binney over the years. Um, yeah, and metal handles. But those tint plugs. Oh, so me and Louie went for a ride today. We went to Benjamin Moore paint store. I didn't go to Sherman Williams yet, but went to Benjamin Moore, went to Walmart, and went to Ace, which is a hardware store. I don't know if there's Aces all over the country, but Ace wanted $8 for their paint cans. They're empty, clean paint cans. I don't even know if they were lined or not. I did like $8 a piece. And then Walmart didn't have any. Oh, Tiny Creek, you got Bob Binney. Wow, you're spoiled. You
yeah.
got
He's
Bob
like,
Binney all the 45 minutes away.
yeah, that's a hopscotch.
Jeez. And then Bill Lee talks about metal handles. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I have to agree with him that the plastic part on the metal handle will break off after about 2 years. They don't last very long.
Well, the only well, I was gonna say the only time that I use the handles is when they're empty. When I'm grabbing like 2 or 3 of them and lugging them back in somewhere, but individually, I'm picking them up, I'm popping out the tint plug, I'm putting them in the crook of my arm, I'm pouring in that 1 gallon,
Yeah,
I set them on the ground, put the tint plug, pick it up from around I don't even use the handle, flip it up,
right,
get it to catch suction or whatever that's called, the real term, and then set
right,
them down. So the only time I use the handles is really when they're empty, but I don't know what others do.
right. I'm the same way. And this time of year, I don't even wait for the suction to happen. I throw them right on the hive because I figured there's enough
Um,
bees in there to slurp it up.
yeah, I don't know. I kind of hold it over there for a little bit and let them kind of just so I know it's seals,
Right.
because it makes me feel better.
Yeah. I found a bucket today that had, the other day that had a hole in the lid, and not in the lid, but in the bottom of the bucket. And I said, well, this is a garbage because it will never seal.
Right.
So
You could put a tree in it. You could start a tree in it.
there you go.
A
Using
drain
the
hole at the bottom.
flower pot. Got a little drain hole
All right,
already.
let's do a giveaway. I wanted to do a giveaway at 8:00.
802.
8:02. So let's figure it's gonna be the first one. So let's have the first one. Okay. So the other thing is we're gonna do Peabodies. We're gonna do Ryan Peabody donated a pound of honey. So if anybody's interested in trying Peabodies, he is in Southern Maryland. I don't know if he's still on. He was on. He might be working, but so what I wanted to do is let me figure this out. So let me figure this out. I want to be sure that I get Peabody's correct. His correct address here. Peabody Apiary. I don't know where Tom went. Here he is. Okay. So Ryan is part of our community, and he has a YouTube channel. So we're going to put that over here. Hey Tom, I'm catching you.
Yeah.
We're going to put that there. And we're
I tried
also
to
going,
switch
so
back
if
the picture and I lost it.
what's that?
I tried to switch from comment back to screen and I lost it somehow.
So I was trying to figure out how to create. Oh, here we go. Create. Okay, I got it. Hold on. It's been a while since I did this. So let's see if this works. Nope. I don't like that. So Peabody Apiary. Like and subscribe. Go look at his videos. He's an interesting character. And he has
Yeah.
he is going to so it's going to come directly from Peabody. The honey is going to get mailed directly from Peabody. So you're going to contact him via Facebook or YouTube. And he's on now, I think, so he's going to know who it is and who to expect. So I cannot see the screen at this point. Hi, Carl. Hey, Carl, I want you to donate some of your peanut butter cream honey. That was good. All right. So what I want you folks to do, if you're interested in winning Ryan Peabody's honey, I want you to type in
Pound Ryan.
hold on. Here we go. Hold on. I gotta click buttons here. This is a little. So you're gonna type in hashtag, whoops, hashtag Peabody apiary. Okay.
Perfect.
Type in hashtag Peabody apiary. We'll let that go for a little while.
Yeah.
There you go. And anybody that wants to promote their business, or their YouTube channel or whatever, you have a gardening channel, I'll give away anything. Anybody you want to give something away, we'll give it away. And you can only enter one time. Well, it's only going to recognize one. So you can type it in a million times, but it's only gonna catch one. Oh, I'm gonna try and win. Where do I type in? Can I win? Can I play?
I don't
No,
know.
I guess
I haven't typed. I haven't typed in. I'm
I
not
was
on
just gonna do it
comment.
for fun. I was just gonna do it I was just gonna participate for fun, but we won't do that. So, and then we have Bruce coming in. Now, I invited Ryan to come in, but he's a lineman for the power company, so I don't know if he's even able to come in. But
Wow.
so what are you seeing in the studio? You're not seeing people's names go by. Why not? Why aren't we seeing people?
I'm not on comments, Nancy.
All right, here is the winner. Okay. Did everybody get their entry in? Or do we want to give it a couple minutes? M&J Habitat. You didn't type in the P. Try again, M&J Habitat. No?
Anybody.
Keep trying. P picking body. Heck. So I do want to talk about hive beetles. Well, I don't think we talk about hive beetles enough. I want to talk about some of you Southerners that are down there. I want to talk a little bit about hive beetles because I got a rude awakening this couple days ago.
Nancy, you got small hive beetles?
Okay. Here we go. We're gonna choose a winner.
Chicken dinner.
Oh no.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh no. This worked on Saturday. What did I do here? This trying to do everything myself is Tom, we need to figure this out. I'm getting yelled at.
I can't. I'm stuck on my phone.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So
My bad.
why?
I forgot to pack my laptop. I totally forgot about
James is
Tuesday.
laughing. Remember what I said about just having fun? Remove spammers. Well, we don't have any spammers. Unique winners. Done. I don't know what I did this on Saturday and it worked. I
can't help you, Nancy.
Oh, put a space. Oh, I know. Okay, guys. We need a space between Peabody and apiary. There's a space. It's not one word. And the next time I will do one word. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is that it?
That's it. That's it. I put it in as Peabody space apiary. Retype Oh, so let me see. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. There you go, Wildwoods. There you go, Tiny Creek. Yep. Now it's picking it up. No, yeah. No, it's picking you up without caps. It's the space between Peabody AB. So when you type it into YouTube to go check out his channel, you're gonna type in just the same way, Peabody Apiary. Oh, Ryan, I'm butchering this something fierce. Okay, now I'm seeing y'all coming in. There you go. All right.
I learned something too. It's got to be exactly what you want.
Yeah, and let me look here, Mike. Yeah, Mike, you're in there. Nancy, don't worry, this all can be overwhelming. Then you get it and it clicks. Thanks, Carl. I needed to hear that. Thank you. Peabody Space Apiary. 22
No, I have to,
bonus. Hello. All right, we got
I gotta
15
watch.
people. Hmm?
I have to watch
We have
the P's and
36.
Q's.
Sorry. We keep stepping on each other, Tom. I don't know how to make that
That's all
stop.
right. You up to 36?
We're going to Mark's for peas. 22 bushels of peas picked and shelled. Farmer Mark. All right. Last chance. Peabody Space Apiary. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Keyword spam. Tar Heel. Do it again. It threw you out for some reason. It's saying keyword spam. Tar Heel, type in Peabody Apiary again.
That's funny.
Can't type. I think I have you in, MJ,
Yeah.
M and J. Yeah, you're good, M and J. Habitat. You're good. Tiny Creek. Collector Rick. Tar Heel. He's got a John Larson. Hi, John. Um. Oh, Randy. Oh, Tar Heel went to bed. I think, or he went. Hi, John. There you go. Bill Lee. All right, let's pick a winner. Ready? Do 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 do. David Brown. David Brown?
I don't know David Brown.
Do you see that on the David Brown?
He posted.
Congratulations, David Brown. There he is, the winner. All right, David. So David, you're gonna reach out to Ryan Peabody and tell him where to send the honey. So there you go. There's the first winner, David Brown. Oh yeah, look, and it's in the chat.
Yeah.
814. Here you go. Oops. Cool. So did you see he is a couple scrolls up. Did you see the names going through when I hit the button to pick a winner? Did you see the names? Did you see your name scroll? I know that's always a fun thing. All right, small hive beetles. So I was down in my colonies, looking at those queens I killed through Formic and blah blah blah, and I smell a stink. I smell a stunk. Oh, MJ, we didn't have. Okay. I'll have to figure that out for next time. we're going to be doing Bruce's bees here in another 45 minutes. So I'll have to figure that out. So I had one of these colonies, and I was on Bill's chat last night with my actual video, or with my camera, my phone, and you could see it. But I smell a stink, and I thought, what is that? That's dead. Like, it was over kind of near the woods, so I just thought, I smelled it, and then I just kept on going, and then I smelled it again stronger the next day, and I thought, you know what? Maybe something's caught underneath this, bottom board, because I had put my IPM boards in for formic. So I thought, well, what if, I don't know. I just thought it's time to get in here and look around. So I did that. 2 different sides. Collector Rick, I'm gonna say no off the top of my head, but we're gonna ask some of the Southern boys about more of this hive beetle. So anyway, so I thought, well, I better get in there. So I started pulling things apart, and oh my lands, it was awful. And it actually looks like looks like a textbook. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. I took pictures. So I went in there and tore it apart, and I got really scared because I thought, looking at my pictures here, I thought, what am I going to do about this? So I came up to the house, and I got a tote, and I filled it with soapy water, and I went back down to the colonies, and I dunked each frame into the tote and euthanized the colony. I stuck the boxes in. I stuck each frame in. The bees were showing signs of disease. I didn't see a queen, no evidence of a queen. So this colony was collapsing, and I did not want those bees that were sick to go to my other colonies. So I just dunked them, and it was terrible. And then I dunked the boxes, and then I let the frames sit in that soapy water because it's killing the exoskeletons of the hive beetle larva and the bee. So I had 2 big totes. I put all the frames in. There was 16 frames. I put all of those in the tote, and I let them sit in there for 20 minutes, I want to say. And then I took all the frames out. I dunked the boxes in the soapy water as well. And then I took all of the frames out, and I put them back in the boxes. And then I took those 2 totes, big 50, I don't know what they are, more than 10 gallons, I want to say. It's bigger than 2 5-gallon buckets. And all that soapy water I drenched on where the colony was. My cinder blocks. I just poured all that water, all that soapy water. So anything that was in the ground underneath that colony was also done. So I took the 2 boxes with the soapy, crappy frames, and I stuck them in my freezer. And that's where they'll sit at -6 for at least 7 days. Hey, DC, you missed our first giveaway. You can't be tired of honey. So anyway, so I did that. And they're in the freezer now, and I did that 2 days ago, I guess, Sunday. So they're in there sitting, and now they're going to all of that beetle larva and anything else that was in there is going to be dead, dead, dead. I had a slime out, DC. I had a hive beetle slime out, and I could smell it. It was awful, like something dead. So then what I did today was I run screen bottom boards just because that's what we bought. I bought back 8 years ago. That's just what I went with, and I'm glad I did. But so what I did today was I got diatomaceous earth, and I put a nice good coating on the IPM board, and I slid the IPM. I know, DC. I promise I'm going to stop crying about all my fretting. I'm going to stop fretting. But I slid the IPM boards underneath with the diatomaceous earth on to see if I can get here's Mark's talking. Mark's down in the south. See if I can get a handle on the do you run screen bottoms, Mark? I know there's some comment about so I called my mentor, and she never went with screen. She's been a beekeeper for 30 years, and screen bottoms boards were not a thing. She did get a couple of them and then switched back.
I'm the same way, Nancy. I do not like screen bottom boards.
I'm not going to go out and buy all solid bottoms. Solid bottoms don't seem to work for me for whatever reason. When I lose a colony, when I lose colonies, it's solid bottoms. Here is Pennsyltucky. Yeah, okay. I agree. That's a good point. That was a swarm. That was a swarm. I think it was from my colony. I think it was my own swarm that I caught, but it's the only swarm I caught this year. Because I clip and mark my queens. Yeah, it's bad. It stinks. The videos can't capture the smell.
Yeah.
It's bad. Okay, so Mark saying it's 20%.
You know it as soon as you get to the hive almost. The smell.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. So I guess I didn't have to euthanize the colony. The reason I did was because I saw other problems. There was other problems going on, and it was a double deep. So I run 8 frames. So say 2 frames. So say 4 frames didn't have visible, like I couldn't physically see hive beetle larvae, but the 4 frames in the middle and the 4 frames in this underneath, they were gross. So I didn't want to just say, oh, I'm gonna just do these. I did the whole thing. I just euthanized the whole colony.
Nancy, I don't think that's a big deal because it doesn't have a queen anyway. It's a dead hive anyway. So do it now or do it later after it spreads everything.
Yeah. So this colony was in the sun. It might have a little shade early morning. The sun comes up, it was facing east, and there was a big Russian olive bush next to it, big, like 30 feet big. So it was maybe early morning. It was a little bit of shade, but then it was full sun. So okay, Randy's going to let's see what DC says here. Only one bad feels. Yeah, and it was fast. Peppermint and peppermint oil.
Yeah, peppermint works. Hey, Nancy, did you see Bob Beanie's YouTube this week?
Yes.
Where he moved his yard just 20 yards, 20 feet higher, and he went from a bad SHB to no issue. Just getting higher off the ground in dry ground versus wet ground. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I actually I have that somewhere here. I had that video and I was going to share some of it here. Let's see if I can do that.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and do that. It's at marker 13.
Okay.
So let's do that real quick here.
Yeah, because he shows where it was, where it is.
Okay. Let's see. Now I'm going to go get it. Hold on. Ah, no. Here we go. Share screen. Okay, everybody, we're going to watch a Bob Binney video on YouTube.
Oh,
And
fine.
let's see if I can do this.
Your video. Number.
So it's at mile marker 13. Please tell me this is the right one.
Yeah,
Just
I
jump.
can't.
No,
The early spring, but it's definitely
this is
there.
the wrong one. It jumped to a different video. Hold on.
Yeah, well, he made that comment. That's what I listen on YouTube. That's what I listen for is unique things, not how to. What's the unique comment?
So we're gonna shut down some.
So we're going to go ahead and use them, do a few rounds here, midsummer, late summer. So these two are set up. John and Selena are looking for queens. Got a couple more. I think we're going to set up 5 cell builders. So
Yeah, that might be it. Ooh. Yeah.
eat it and kill it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's a good day for putting cells in 85 degrees. Sun's kind of coming and going. It's actually perfect.
Yeah.
And they're just going to hatch in 12 hours or something.
Right.
So
We don't need long.
yeah, they're pretty tough at this point.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to bring back a bunch of nukes here. When all of this mating's done, we're going to fill this yard for the winter. This is a great overwinter yard. You know, we got the north windbreak right there. Completely stops that.
Yeah.
Good drainage. We're kind of up on a knoll here. Got the creek right down there with the water.
That's where your yard used to be.
Yeah, I used to have the yard down there in that bottom, and it was problematic. We had a huge high beetle problem right down there because that soil is always a little bit moist.
Yeah, we couldn't even get to it a couple times. We had
Yeah.
a driveway we couldn't drive.
Remember how
there.
many high beetles we used to have down
Yeah,
there? You remember that?
yeah.
But up here, we don't have any high beetles.
No,
And it's just, what do we do? Come up 25, 30 feet in elevation up on this little dry spot, and suddenly we never see a high beetle anymore. Simple as that.
yeah.
This is a great spot, but I don't know, I haven't counted here. I think we can get 50 colonies in here or something like that for the winter. It looks like we need to replace some of our landscape timber. So Clint and John
So
had a
that
job
was
here this morning.
that was Bob Binney talking about. So that was Bob Binney talking about how he moved a colony, and I know there was some static. My laptop didn't want to do all of that with YouTube and StreamYard and Nightbot. I'm asking a lot of this old laptop, but yeah, Bob Binney was saying there in that video. I think it was put out 2 days ago. So if y'all want to go to Bob Binney's channel and look at that, but he talks about how he just moved them 40 yards, did he say? 30
Yeah,
yards?
hardly nothing.
Yeah.
20, 30 feet elevation.
Yeah. So I do have my property slopes. It's a good 6 to 10 feet. I have a drainage goes, and my So it's up like this next to the farmer's field, and it comes down, it drops about 6 feet, flattens off, which is where I have my colonies, and then drops again and again. So I could put those colonies all up another 6 feet, but then I'd be running right along the farmer's field, and I don't know if I want to do that. So, but okay, what do we have here? You can see small and large hive beetles in Mr. Ed's hives, but I only see the small ones here. Must be two varieties.
I
Interesting,
think
right?
I think there is, Nancy.
Never heard of it.
But you know, that's kind of funny. When Bob mentioned that, I thought of something the same with mites. I'm on top of a ridge, like a mountain, a small mountain where I live, and I'm at the very top. So it's 200 to 250 feet drop on both sides of me, and creeks running down below in between. So I'm up on really dry ground. But I know I don't. So I don't know if there's a correlation there, or if it's farmers or the whole 9 yards. But when he brought that point up, I go, man, that's just so interesting. Just being on dry ground from wet ground made a huge difference on small hive beetles. What else bugs does it make a difference on?
Right. Well, and I had 2 years ago, I didn't have hive beetles, and I only had, if I saw 2 or 3 in a colony, that was a lot.
Yeah,
So for
that's
me to
how
have
I.
to go from basically none to a few to a slime out, that's a big step there. So it's the first time I had a colony in that exact location, maybe 6 inches to the right or left. I haven't had a colony in that area for years, but I did put that swarm in that spot. And then the other thing is, we've had so much rain.
Yeah,
Is that keeping the dirt wet
right.
for them to be able to get a hold? So I did the diatomaceous earth on my my whiteboards, my IPM boards, and I slid them underneath because I figured anything that drops, because I'm going to start doing OAV here in another, I don't know, week or two, I guess. To get the ferret, because it did the formic, so everything under the caps, but then I want to get anything that's ferretic that came in from another apiary coming in. So when I start doing formic, when I start doing vaporization, I think I'll get some more hive beetle drop right in that diatomaceous earth. So now I'm having a war with not only mites but with beetles. Oh,
Yeah, I went back on comments so I could catch up. I was 47 comments behind.
oh my.
Yeah, I don't have. I see a couple mites like you have, Nancy, on some of the hives, but that's about it.
What else do I want to talk about? I don't know.
Yeah, me
I don't think
either.
I'm gonna make it till 10. I don't think I'm gonna make it till 10 tonight. Usually we're on till that's too much.
It's that time of year. You're done. Most people are done pulling honey or near done pulling honey, and it's time to treat and feed in the next few months before winter hits, or till if you're south until it gets a little bit colder.
Yeah. Let me go over here. Okay. Let's see how to. So what if I hit reset entries? So now that got rid of, okay. That got rid of. How do I do a new giveaway options? Okay. All right. I'm setting up the next giveaway.
Oh, okay.
All right. So I think what I need to do is I need to run a banner. How about that, kids? Let's add a banner to what the no ticker. There we go. So that's what we want it to do, but I wanted that to be a ticker. Here we go.
Do you see my last rain was yesterday? And tomorrow's rain forecasted.
You see, I'm so proud of myself.
There you go, Nancy. I'm on comments again.
So the next giveaway is going to be for Bruce's Bees. I twisted Bruce's arm a little bit to come on, and I don't know if so his time is different. And he was trying to take a break from YouTube.
Live stream.
But so Bruce's Bees, he has a bumper crop this year. And it is wonderful honey. Y'all know I bought a bucket. I'm going to be doing taste testing. Oh, hold on, guys. It's exactly how you see it here. It's exactly how you see it on the ticker. I forgot that part last time. Yes, one word, Rick. Sorry. So I'm gonna. I did a taste testing. Was at a retirement community, and I went and did a talk and had bees, and then we did taste testing. And it wasn't that I took a lot of your honey, and Brian, they love that cream honey from Colorado, and I did too. So all caps and all guys. Bruce's Bees. Bruce's Bees.
Is Bruce on right now?
No, he's not. Hey, we got a new
Okay.
person, Ravana Gabriella. Hello. Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome. Hit
Florida.
like and subscribe to be part of the giveaway.
Vina. All right. Cool.
We like to talk from Florida.
Florida.
Wow.
Can't get much more south than that.
Oh, DC. He's saying that he doesn't have the best, but so great honey, and I want folks to support Bruce and buy some honey. The bucket was real reasonable and included shipping. Came via, I think it was UPS, and everything was secure and tightened up and wrapped up, and it arrived without incident. Hey, Joey.
Hey, here.
So yeah, so support Bruce. All right.
Support Nancy, support Tom, support everybody.
Oh yeah, there you go. So 22 bonus. Try again. One word, Bruce's Bees, just as you see it in the ticker.
With an
Hi,
S.
Joey. I didn't know you were on. Bruce's EL. Come on, Mike.
Not versus E, versus B.
Bruce's Bees. It's
My T must got the B.
huh? Oh.
It's got Bruce space, probably a fat finger.
Yeah. So here you go. Watch this. Man, if I had a real computer, that'd be freaking dangerous. You see that? Y'all know Bruce. It's Bruce. It's our Bruce. Bruce's Bees. So Joe, go check out his channel and his videos. Got some great videos. He works real hard at beekeeping and doing a great job.
Yeah, he was commercial one or semi-commercial one time.
Yeah, he's up there. He did I think he did 9,000 pounds this year. 9,000
Yeah,
pounds of honey. He was in a little pocket of the country, I believe, that just had the absolute perfect environment, perfect weather. You know, everything was just spot on for him this year.
yeah. Him and
I just love.
Keith Spillman, same way.
What's this?
Keith Spillman's the same way. The whole
Yes,
area,
yes.
Georgia, all the way up to North South Carolina.
They got into this area that just had, you know, just the superb um elements to make a lot of honey. And I just love when my buddies make honey, you know, when we have beekeepers that have really good seasons. It just makes us all like, I don't know, just it makes you feel good. And knowing that you don't have to do all that extraction. No.
Yeah,
But
but I wish I could do more.
I do. I can only do so. I do it myself. You know, I'm pulling everything, and my max is about 120 pounds a day. It's about all I can do, from pulling the supers to getting them into the garage to having set up the whole thing. You know, cracking the
Setting
box,
them.
spinning buckets. I can only do 120 pounds a day.
Yeah, I'm about
So
double, about 4 buckets a day. But this
seven
year I didn't have.
buckets.
This year I
What's
didn't have 4 buckets a day.
So what's 60 pounds? What is 60 pound? 5 pound bucket, 5 gallon buckets with 60
Yeah,
times seven. It's 300 pounds. Oh, that's not bad. It's not bad for first, second year.
no, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that's right on. All right. So let's pick a winner. 22 bonus. Did he get a chance to? Okay, let's see. I just want to make sure everyone's got a chance to do it right. This is for Bruce's. Now this is going to come straight from Bruce. So you're going to contact and I'm going to tell him who the winner is and all that. I mean, everything's recorded here. So I want to see why. Okay. Oh, you're kidding. Guess who won?
A new
Guess
person,
who won? The new girl from Florida, Ravina.
Ravina. Congrats.
Cool. Lucky dog. Take that, Bill Lee. Mr. Lucky Bill Lee wins everything. It's the first night on. The new girl. The new girl won. Bruce. So Bruce will get that information and he'll send you a pound of honey.
Yeah,
Oh, too cool. Too
his,
cool.
his email was what? Bruce's Bees at
Yeah.
gmail.com.
Yeah, Bruce's Beast. Bruce Jenna. I'm gonna tell him we did the drawing. Uh, oh, so exciting. How is that for a nice hearty welcome, Ravina? How is that for a nice hearty welcome? Now you got to come on and tell us how you beekeep in Florida.
Yeah, we don't have a southern
You
rep.
want you want a pound of honey from Bruce's Bees in southern Alabama, north of Tallahassee. Oh, this is so cool. Yeah, we did. DC. It's Bruce's Bees YouTube channel. It's Bruce's Bees. Here, I still got it up. Hold on. Got a lot of pressing buttons, DC. We gotta get you in on this button pressing thing. Do you see that? You see his Can you see his channel? So there's Bruce. That's Bruce's Bees. All right. So anybody don't want to press your button? No, your keyboard buttons, DC. Your keyboard buttons. Now you'd be good at this back behind the scenes stuff that goes on. Nightbot told me to stop spamming. Oh dear. Okay. I'm gonna clear the entries. Reset. All right. Doing great with the buttons.
Mm.
Yeah, well, DC, yeah, this stuff is learning on the fly, man, because so much of the program doesn't work until you're live. Like, so so I did practice a little bit Saturday. Like I said, I had a couple guys come in and we practiced the giveaway, although nothing got given away. Let's stop the banner. Okay. Let's go back to my. All right.
All right, I gotta plug my phone back in.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Shenandoah Bee Supply. Shenandoah.
Bill.
See
Here
what's
we
going
go.
on over here. Oh. All right. Time to do some admin there. Get rid of some timers from night chat bot. Jose at hi guys from Southern New Zealand. Hey.
Okay.
Nightbot's so what's going on? What's Nightbot doing? Joseph, but your honey is better. Well, so Joey, me again, Joey. Maybe you have to do some giveaways. So, what's Nightbot saying? Is it showing something up that I'm not seeing? Oh, okay. The guy from New Zealand knows DC. Are we surprised? Of course not. Jose, Josie, Jose. How do you say that? All right. So we have a couple more minutes left, and then we're going to do the $50 drawing for Shenandoah Bee Supply.
Oh, I'm doing that one.
Hey, Bundy. Were you here the whole time, Bundy?
It was earlier.
It was, yeah. All right.
And DC knows everybody. It's loud. I don't know about that, Gary. Hey, honeybee compound. It stinks being on my phone.
Hi, Honeybee Compound. Bill rocks.
Bill's a good guy.
Oh, yeah, from Shenandoah. Oh, he sponsors me on this. So, yeah. So, if you have any complaints, see Bill. How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, I got your text. Carl from 2B Brats. You'll just send it straight to the winner when you next week. We'll do your giveaways next week, and you just send them straight to the winner. That way, they have your information to buy more honey from you. So if you want to donate honey, and then you're just gonna you're gonna get the winner directly, and then you'll all have each other's information.
And Nancy, next week I'll have some giveaways. I just being
Perfect.
out of town. Just being out of town just wasn't good this week. Being on vacation. I'm still bee chatting, even on vacation. There comes my wife. She's coming in.
Only half of every DC, aren't you a hoot? All right, so Bruce is gonna come in a couple minutes. Bruce will
No
come
way.
on. Yeah. We'll let him talk a little bit about
What are you looking for, Lynn?
Pennsylvania. Good Lord Louise. Nah, Charlie's my buddy. Charlie and I go way back, years back. Way before the beginning of COVID, I met Charlie. Bruce's Bees. Grayson, we've already done that. Our winner is the new gal from Florida. So the next one's going to be Shenandoah Bee Supply. I'm not sure how. I think we're just going to do hashtag Bill just because it's going to be a lot easier. So Bruce is going to come on here in a minute. He was going to come on for a couple minutes, so how, what's this?
Lots of
Oh,
ball game.
things are okay. I did that screw thing where I put the queen above the queen excluder for my formic. So I did lose her because it got too cold. It got down in the 60s, and the bees did not leave. The bees didn't leave the brood. They abandoned the queen and left the brood. So if anybody wants to make that mistake, don't worry. I already did it, so you don't have to. But I put her above the queen excluder with an extra box because when you do formic, you put that extra box so they have a place to go. So I put her above an excluder. I put frames in there, and then I thought, well, they'll all come up with her, when they get pushed out. But it never flashed. The formic never flashed because it never got really hot enough. And then she was dead the first night. And I know that because the queen cells were 4 days old when I went to look to see how she was doing. 4 days. Yeah, so DC is asking, so what happened was I found the dead queen above the queen excluder. There was some retinue with her, but she was dead. So I popped her off. I slid her into the colony. I picked her up and picked up the queen excluder, and I slid her down in just because I didn't know what else to do with her, and I didn't know if they knew she was dead. But when I got down into the deep, here they had 4-day-old queen cells already started. So I left about most of them in there. I left most of them in there. Some I had 6 or more. I didn't leave that many in, but different sides of the frame I left on, and then if there was 2 together, I took them off, left singles. So they are going to yes, they're going to requeen. It's a little late, but I still have drone comb or drone cells, sorry, in some of the colonies. So we have drones that haven't yet emerged. So, hi Norman.
Hey, Norman.
Oh, I want to hear about Tom's in Gatlinburg.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. So I
I
do
want to hear
comedy,
about.
or that's about it. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Norman.
anyway, so they're not going to. They'll probably. My thought is, and I'd be interested to hear what some others think, but I don't think they're going to swarm with those. I think they're going to let the first one out and see if she comes back, and then you'll take care of the others. So, but okay, without further delay, guess who's here?
Hey y'all, how you
Bruce
doing?
is here.
Can you hear me
Bruce.
okay? You guys hear me?
Yep.
Sorta.
Sorta. It
Hold on,
should
I
be better
can.
than sorta. What?
No,
I hear you good.
What? Hello, hello.
no,
Test. You can't hear me?
you're really low. You need to turn something up.
All right. Well,
I hear you fine.
let's see.
Okay.
Is that
I'm
better?
gonna. Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe my mic was still turning on. I don't know, but it
There you
sounds
go.
good to
That's
me too
better.
now.
Hi, Bruce.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was late for the drawing. I thought I was coming in a little bit later,
Yeah.
so that's okay. I just thought it was
No,
going to
we had
be
a lull,
after.
so we did it.
All right. What's going on?
So a new girl that just signed up or just signed in. She was new. She was on the chat for 10 minutes. Juan, your honey.
Okay. Good. Sounds good.
From Florida.
Yeah,
Yes.
even south of you, Bruce.
I guess she could
Yeah,
just come up
she's
here.
down in Florida. We don't know where in Florida, but it's exciting that someone new that we don't know, someone new to our community. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool.
And Bruce, congrats having a
Okay.
record year.
Oh yeah, it was something. It's been something. I've kind of taken a couple of weeks off here. I've was in them about a week and a half ago, and I haven't been in them since. And so I did some more. I got some more queens out of Hawaii and introduced them. So we're going to find out if they survived or not. I think they probably did, but we'll see.
Well, that's
That's the
cool.
last I've been in them.
Yeah, and it's amazing how one part of the country can have a record and the other parts of the country have the worst year ever.
Struggling.
Yeah, that could be us next year. I hope not, but it could be. You just never know.
Yeah, you never know. That's why it's always good when you have surplus to save a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've got last year I think we did 9,300 pounds, and I had the last bucket in the bottling tank as we did the spring harvest. And so I thought there was no way I'd get rid of it, but we did. And then now we've got a lot more to get rid of. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Sell, sell, sell.
What's going on now? Tom, are you in Ohio? Where are you at?
Yeah. I'm in the
Okay.
very southwest corner of Ohio. So when you
Okay.
talk to Brian and Greg, Brian's a 4 hour drive northeast, and Greg's probably a 2.5 hour drive northeast.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Nancy, you're up in Pennsylvania. Your name gives you
Yeah,
away.
north of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes north of Philly, I guess.
Okay.
So like
Well,
I get southern and winter weather. So like this past week, it's been in the mid 90s, low to mid 90s.
yeah.
I drive down here to Gatlinburg and it's cooler.
Yeah. Is that where you're at now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been hot here. It's been pretty oppressive. Just real hot. So I've had to really be careful getting out there and not
Yep.
Yeah.
doing it. Had to pace myself and make sure I'm hydrated and take breaks.
Early in the
I'm
morning.
getting old. The older I get, the harder it is to power through the heat. So I actually did it right. The last time I was out there, the day I had all those queens I had to get something done with, I went out pretty early in the morning, got going, and about noon I had done a lot of the prep work for it, and I just texted my wife and said I'm coming home to get lunch and cool down a little bit. And I normally don't do that. I normally just kind of, if I eat anything at all, I stop somewhere and buy something and stay with it. But I thought it'd be a good idea to get home
Mhm.
and get inside and get cool and just take about an hour
Right.
off. And that really helped because I would have struggled to get through it all without resting. So
Mhm.
it worked well. I mean, I've been stopping and resting and getting in the truck sometimes, turn it on, cool down a little bit. But that day I just said I'm going to take a couple hours off. And so I did.
Right. And you kind of
Worked out
learn
well.
as you get older, Bruce, that you do a lot of prep work the day before. So when you
Uh-huh.
go in there in the morning time, you can open lids up right away.
That's what you want to do unless you're working full time. Then you can't always do a lot of prep work the
Oh
day
yeah,
before.
you're
That's
still working
true.
full time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're still
But
working. I'll tell you about that.
but it worked.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, it
what I
worked out
do
okay.
now.
It worked. I mean,
So
I
at
can get stuff in the
7 o'clock, I'm opening lids up.
I can get I can get the truck loaded up and get everything ready. But as far as actually getting out to the bee yards and doing prep work, it's hard for me to do that in the evenings.
Right.
Anyway, I got it done, and I was pretty efficient with it. It's hard to get, for me. Some people can, like the pros can do like 100 queens in a day, but for me it took all day to get those 28 queens figured out what I wanted to do with them and figure them all. I had 28 queens. I had to do something with them, so I did. Trying to pattern this year after last year. Last year I did some things that worked really good. Trying to eliminate things I did wrong and mimic the things I did right, and then we'll see how it goes through the year. But
Right.
one thing I'm changing out this year is the way I do the mite treatments. Last year, I used Apivar, and it worked in a lot of the colonies, but some of them it just didn't even touch the mites. I don't guess because some of them were the most mites I've ever had. Just mite bombs. Just it wasn't many of them, but just having 2 or 3 that are that way is just opened my eyes. And so this year I'm doing the Viroxam. We'll see. I did it in the spring. It's usable with the supers on if you want to. So I put it on there in the spring, and honestly, I didn't get it off when you're supposed to. I just left it on there, and then I put it in there again. My commercial beekeeper buddy down here, he ordered a whole pallet of Viroxam, which who knows how much that weighed. I mean, it's so heavy. I don't know if you guys have used it before, but it's kind of heavy, and you have to use a lot. You have to use like a strip for every 2.5 frames, you know, in the deep boxes. And so if you have double deep, that's 8 strips. And so I bought 900 strips from him and I used 895. So I figured that out pretty good, how many I needed. And we'll see how it does. It really, I think it's you know, you can do OAV every week for 4 or 5 weeks. That's hard for me to do, especially this time of the year in the heat. The
Right.
Varoxan is a slow release, and I know some people to tell me just make your own, just do all this and that, and I'm like, I just want to order. I mean, it is more expensive for sure. You know, if you buy it, I got it for I think it was around 84 cents a strip, and normally it's, you know, well over $1 a strip if you buy it for full price. And so because he ordered it by the pallet, you know, I got a really good deal.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of it from him,
Yeah.
so you know that was an advantage I had. It would have been what $1,400 or something like that if I ordered full price. I don't know if I would have gone with that treatment then, but it worked out good, and I got it all in there. A couple of weeks after the honey harvest, the bee inspector actually came out the week after the honey harvest and did some mite checks for me, just some random checks. I said, just give me an idea of what I'm dealing with. Last year, I already had them up; they were pretty high. I didn't treat in the spring last year because season just got ahead of me, and you know, when you put the honey supers on, there's only so much you can do, and so I just got through. I did the OAV in the wintertime, and then they didn't get any treatments at all until the summer last year, and they were, you know, they were pretty high. Auburn came down and did a study at one of my bee yards last year, and they all had, you know, pretty significant mite counts, and so this year the mite counts were not as high as last year. Maybe the Varoxan did something. They have mites, but you expect that. And so hopefully this Varoxan will keep it the same, or hopefully knock it down. And then I plan to see how they're doing like in September, or when I take the strips off, August, September time frame. And then I'll just see. Last year I used Apagard. Let's see, Varoxan, Apagard in September, October with OAV. And then in the winter I used OAV, OAV, and then in the wintertime between Thanksgiving and New Year's, I used, I think, 5 weeks in a row OAV. And it really seemed to do. You see how the bees look this year. They just have been phenomenal, healthy and good. And I think the queens are a huge part of that too. Last year I tried Zach's queens for the first time out of Hawaii. They did awesome. And this year I went ahead and I can get him in February. Somehow I got on his list. I don't think he normally brings new people in February because the commercial guys are ordering from him, but for some reason he was willing to do that. And so this year I mimicked that, made some splits and used them to tame down my mean ones a little bit in the spring, like in February and early March, whenever it was. I think it was mid to late February, whenever it was, and just had tremendous success. And last year I made some summer splits, and this year I made some a couple of weeks ago, but I made them stronger. Last year I put them in nukes. And with like 3 frames of bees with a feeder, and some of them they weren't strong enough. Some of them this time of year weren't strong enough, and so this year I just made a lot of it. What I did was replace weak queens or mean queens. Some I still had, and then I made some splits with some of them, and I made sure they had plenty of bees in them this time. And this year they all had built up. Most of them had built up really good food stores, and so not doing a lot of feeding right now because they just the bees just did everything right this year in spite of me. I mean, I kind of just gave them room to grow and they did their own thing. And so, you know, maybe it's because I'm starting to figure out kind of the feel for the variety of bees I have. They're more consistent. And maybe I'm starting to figure out a little bit about how our seasons work. But, you know, in a year like what you guys had, you can have nothing but rain or nothing but drought. And so it doesn't matter what you do, it may not make a difference. But they turned out, it's been a really good year. It's been fun. And every year I'm trying to tweak it a little bit better, a little bit more, and just get a little bit better at what I'm doing. And I know a lot of people disagree with some of the things I do. A lot of people don't want to spend the money I spend on products, you know, as far as treatments or food. You know, I buy the Hive Alive. The fondant last year, I put 3 rounds of fondant on them, and that was expensive. It was a lot of money, but they came into the spring. Fondant the Hive Alive doesn't really build them up. Like, it doesn't turn them into brood factories, but they're just healthy and they're happy, you know, and they have the food they need, and it gets them through the difficult times in the winter. It helps them plow right through those little dearth spells in the wintertime or cold spells. And this year they came into spring healthy and ready to go. And so this year I plan to duplicate everything I did last year that worked and eliminate things that didn't. And hopefully they'll be as good or better next year.
Well, Bruce, I think you mentioned a big point. Having those young, newer queens is a bonus. Getting those from, the young queens from Hawaii,
Yeah,
or if you graft your own young queens, it just makes
sure.
better hives in the long run.
Last year I grafted some queens and they did okay. This year I tried it twice and I got a few queens out of it, but frankly, it's hard for me with my schedule to really
Right,
focus on it. It's just hard for me to do it. And,
right, right.
you
Well,
know,
that's what, yeah, because you don't have the time. Time is
and
money.
it is, well, and queens are money too, but I
Right,
just really feel confident with what Zach sent me. I mean, queens are they're just what I want. They build up good. Sometimes you'll get a variety of like Italian or Cordovan queens that all they do is make brood and they don't make a lot of honey, and a brood factory,
right,
which is good if you're making bees or if you're pollinating. But if you want to make honey, sometimes they may not be as productive. Or you may
right,
get the carnies that breed way back in the wintertime and they're a little slower to breed in the spring, but then they usually make a lot of honey. They're usually real gentle. But these bees just have a combination of they build up quickly. Like they would be great for pollination. But boy, when the honey flow kicks on, man, they just pack it in so fast. I mean, you can't hold them back. They're just so efficient at honey storage as well. And
right,
it's just a perfect storm. I really like them. Now they are not. You have to treat them. They're not VSH queens. I mean,
right,
they just aren't. So I mean, they're good. They're good bees, but they're not bred to be. That's not their primary focus. They're not VSH resistant. They're not mite
right.
resistant bees necessarily.
The honey
So
producer.
I'm willing to make that sacrifice and treat them. I understand and I agree. It's pretty cool if your bees can be mite, resistant to mites or mite free or whatever, VSH type bees. But my experience with VHBs has honestly been they just get a little more feisty. And I'm trying to tone my bees down, and so if I can get my
Mhm.
bees really nice overall, then maybe I can start focusing more on the VSH stuff a little bit and breeding from the best and all that stuff like people do. But I found out this year I had a plan to make some queens. I made a few, but just it's hard. It's just so hard for me to manage all the timing on the queens just because you have to time it up or everything. There's so much timing involved, and it's
Right,
doable. But it's just so easy for me to buy queens that I know what I'm going to get pretty much, and I know what their traits are going to be, and just stick them in hives and let them do their thing. And you mentioned, Tom, about the average age of the queens. That is something I found. I think if the average age is lower, you're going to have more success. I don't know. It seems like they're more vibrant. Seems like they're maybe a little more resistant or healthier. Maybe it seems like the bees are with the younger queens. Not that
right.
I
I
don't have
agree.
not that I don't have some queens that are a couple of years old. They're doing great, but they just seem to be more vibrant and they're more overall just they do better. And so Cayman told me, I talked to Cayman a few years ago and he said, his philosophy is great queens, dead mites, and proper nutrition. And I've just found with the younger queens, man, it makes a huge difference. I didn't see that question. Somebody had a question up there. I was just
Yeah,
rambling.
Tiny Creek here was asking about how you manage your all those colonies plus a full-time job and the family. Like,
Yeah.
it's a juggle. It's a
Yeah,
juggle.
I mean, well, I'm a little bit more obsessed with it than some people are, to be honest. And my kids, we are empty nesters. My kids I do have family, obviously I got 4 kids and the last couple of months has been a little hectic because 3 of my 4 kids, well, my son got married but he's kind of been on his own for a while. He's 30. He and his fiance got married. But as far as and they just kind of did their own thing. It wasn't a big ordeal. They just kind of
Mhm.
pulled over by a creek in Colorado and they just got married. And so, it was he's kind of my free spirit. But we had a daughter living with us that just moved here from Utah, her and her husband and their little boy. And then my other daughter and her husband moved away from here up to North Carolina to Fort Bragg. He got transferred in the military. And then my youngest daughter, this past weekend, we moved her to Arkansas for graduate school. She was at the at Auburn University. And so
Wow.
we just have been busy. This month of July has been crazy. And month of June was bees, honey getting prep for the honey thing. And so we have been super busy, but now things are going to get back into a routine a little bit. But the way I do it is I just, I work
Oh,
four, I work, I
I'm
work four
dead.
10 hour, I work 4 10-hour days, Monday through Thursday. And then on Fridays and
Oh,
Saturdays, I'm
nice.
usually in the bees. And so I get out and I just do what I have to do. And the more experience I have, the more efficient I get with it. I
Yes.
do spend a little
Yes.
time, going through them, and really enjoying it. But sometimes when we put the Veroxan strips in, what was it, about 3 weeks ago now, I think. I went out on Friday and I got about probably not quite half of them done, but all I did was I pulled the lid off, and some of those boxes not been broken into since March. I think the last time I've been into some of those brood chambers was when I put the Veroxan strips on. So I told you earlier I left them on too long, but I think that they just are basically worn out. I think the bees, they chew a lot of them up. They kind of push them out. Some of the hives, there was no evidence of the strips hardly even being in there. The bees just kind of chew them up and get rid of them over time. But anyway, so I had to pry those things apart. They were glued together. And but all I did was I pulled a frame or two out of the top, make sure they had plenty of food, crank that top box off the best I could, set it off to the side, and pull a frame or two out of the bottom. If I saw eggs, if I saw brood, I put the Roxanne strips in and moved on. It was just quick. And even so, it still took me, and it was real hot that day. And so on Saturday, my son-in-law and my Hives for Heroes mentee, Thomas, went out with me, and we got the rest of them done. But we just moved quick. And so it gets to the point where you don't have to do a full inspection. You just kind of make sure the bees look healthy. You open the lid, you see an overall health of the colony. Pull out a couple of frames, make sure they got food. You can even, if you don't have pallets, you can do it with pallets too, but you can just lift the hive up, make sure you got weight. But you can pull a frame out or two out of the top, or at least tilt it up and see enough to see there's some food in there. And then if you have to run double deeps, just check and make sure you got the things you need, the resources, and the bees look healthy, and you don't have to find the queen. If you see eggs, you just move on. Over a nice brood pattern,
Yeah.
usually you're fine. But you can tell, I've been in so many hives now, I can pretty much crack a lid open and I can tell immediately if it's not healthy. Down here, if you see hive beetles running everywhere, if you see hive beetle larvae, or if they just look really weak when they shouldn't be looking weak, and some hives do start to breed back during a dearth. Most of them do. But if you pop open the second deep or medium, my second box, and you don't have hardly any bees in the top, and I like to see the frames covered up with bees, I'm like, ooh, something doesn't look right here. And then you pull the top box off, and sometimes they're all packed down below. They've just brooded back a little bit, but I'll make go a little more of an inspection and see, is it a drone layer? Is there just like a little patch of bees in the middle of a tiny little amount of eggs or brood? If so, those are the type of colonies I was requeening. I had no mercy. I was ruthless. Some of the colonies I combined, some of them but when I was doing Veroxan strips, I combined some colonies. I'm like, this one's weak, that one's weak. Just throw this one on top and we'll move on. Sometimes they fix themselves, sometimes they don't, but I just moved quick, and I kind of took note of some of those that if they were super spicy or mean that day, I'm like, this queen's about to go bye-bye. So I knew I had the queens coming from Zach, and so I just kind of mentally took a note of some of those colonies that were. So you're just kind of, your mind's just going and you're moving fast and quick, and everything. That's one thing. That's one reason I buy the mated queens. It's just quick and easy. That's one reason I use the Hive Alive fondant, because it's easy. That's one reason I use the Veroxan strips, because it's a one-time breaking in the hive and the heat. You don't have to go out there every week and try and hit them with OAV. And it's pretty mellow on the bees. Oxalic acid is pretty mild on the bees. And so whether you're making your own, mixing it up, or you're buying the Veroxan strips, that's something you can use in the summertime along with Apivar. So everything I do is like, how can I maximize my efficiency? How can I spend less time in the bee yards because I got so many to go to, instead of having to check them, go through entire inspections all the time. I rarely go through an entire colony unless I'm making spring splits and trying to break them down quite a bit, or unless I'm trying to find the queen, because I'm trying to get rid of her because she's a bad queen, either she's not productive or she's mean. When I'm doing that, then it really slows me down. That happened a little bit 10 days ago when I was putting those queens in, because there were some queens I had to find because they were not desirable traits. They were nasty.
Yeah.
They were mean. They were spicy, and they were non-productive. I had to get rid of them. And in those big, strong colonies, you might go through a box several times before you actually find her, and that frustrates me. It slows me down. But you got to do what you got to do.
It takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually you can see what you need to see and get moving. Like, you don't have to, after years of experience, you can start to learn to what you're looking for, exactly what your objectives are that particular day. And when you're looking for a queen in a big colony, it takes time and it gets frustrating.
Yeah,
And you think she's just running from you. Like, you're so sure that she is just the next frame over,
There's a
So,
trick. I'm sorry. There's a trick Bob Benny.
Bruce,
Go ahead.
what? Go ahead.
There's a trick Bob Benny talked about years ago. I was watching one of his videos about finding the queen because that's something I've struggled with over the years. And he suggested you kind of start on the far side of the colony and work back towards yourself because the queen's going to run away from light. And so
Right.
if you pull that far frame out first, and what I'll do usually, sometimes I'll even pull that far frame out and I'll puff them with a little smoke and get them running towards me. And then you start pulling those frames up gently. And many times that queen will be on a frame looking at you because she's running around to the opposite side of the light. And I've found that to be pretty successful. It doesn't always work, but many times I'll usually go through it. Sometimes I'll just go from myself to the back wall, look on the back wall. Sometimes she's just sitting on that back wall, which is a pain in the tail, especially when the sun shines a certain way. It looks, you can't hardly see because the sun, your eyes reach the light and it's dark down in there. But I have found that to be a pretty effective technique. And I've gone through those jokers sometimes 2 or 3 times back and forth, and I'm like, well, I gotta find her. And then all of a sudden, the very last frame I pull out, whichever side it's on, there she is, or she's on the side. And but you just if you're trying to replace a queen, or you got to find her for whatever reason, you got to just keep going until you find her. And every once in a while, I'll just say forget it and just close it up. Especially if they're not mean. If they're mean, I'm trying to get those genetics weeded out. And I'm doing pretty good. I still have a few that are a little bit spicy, but overall they're getting much better.
Okay, good. So back, I had my first small hive beetle slime out
Oh gosh.
2 days ago. So a question for you: when you're going through those hive inspections and you find small hive beetle larvae in the comb, what do you do at that point?
I'm still trying to figure out what the best thing to do. There's a YouTube channel called Beekeeping Made Simple with Larissa. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that before.
Yep. Yep.
And I had her on my channel a couple of years ago. She was I don't know if she had 10,000 subscribers at the time. She might have had like 10 to 12,000. And she came on. We did interviews from my interviews I did. If you go back in my interview playlist way
Yep.
back, but I actually asked her that question about that and what she actually. I've done this a few times. She said she just takes garbage bags with her to the bee yard, and when she finds a slime out or she'll just put the frames in the garbage bag, and then just take them away. And I did that some. I hate to get rid of the frames, but there's just I really don't know how to manage them. I try to get them away from the bee yard, whatever I have to do, put them in my truck,
Mhm.
get them out of there. And sometimes I burn the frames, just destroy the frames. Sometimes I would just kind of wash them out. One thing I have noticed, if those larvae, whether it's wax moth or hive beetle, if they're in the sunlight, in the heat, they just die. They can't handle the heat. So you can like
Mm,
kind of find a solid surface like asphalt or something, and just kind of pound the frame
yeah.
sideways on the asphalt, and it just burns them up. Like they can't survive that. But
Oh,
I don't know. And I also, one thing that's kind of fun to do is kind of a little bit. I don't know, it's a little bit crazy, but I use a blowtorch to light my smokers now. And if you get like
yeah.
when you really pull up a nasty slime out and there's like thousands of larvae in the bottom of that bottom board, you take that torch and you just kind of run it over those hive beetle larvae. They just curl up and die. So, but yeah, if they're really nasty, I burn the frames.
Well,
Sometimes I do that. And it's not that
I
you have
found
to do
one.
that.
Yeah.
You don't have to burn them. I mean, you can freeze them. You can do all that. You can just spray them off. What you can, if you kill the larvae, you can spray them off really good with a water hose, and the bees will take to them and they'll repair them in the future. But I get so
Mm,
that to me, I just get so gross. I can't. Hive beetle larvae
mm.
slime outs are the grossest thing to me. They
They
just
stink.
disgust me so bad. It's just so nasty, and I just hate it. And I just I just get rid of them. I can't stand it. Yeah, Jason says deconstruct the hive, freeze everything you pull. That you can do that.
So that's what
I
I
don't know.
did. I had mine stunk. My nose smelled
Oh, it's
found the colony.
gross.
I thought it was something dead, and then I came back around the next day and I'm like, oh man, that's something in my colony. And I never had a slime out, so I didn't. So anyway, so I went in and it was bad. So I
Mhm,
had gotten 2 big totes, like
mhm,
that hold more than 10 gallons. I don't know if they're 20-gallon totes. I'm not sure what they were, but I did the liquid soap, the dish soap, water, and I dunked everything because the I was seeing signs of disease as well.
mhm.
So I mean, I knew this colony, there was no queen. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna be just I just dunked them, and then used all the water underneath the cinder blocks and on the ground, and then took everything and froze it. It's in the freezer now at -6. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping. And then I went and put diatomaceous earth on my whiteboards on everybody. And I'm only running 25 colonies here, so it's a little different than, I'm not in the hundreds. So just to try to maybe catch some of that coming down through the screens, and see if I can get it, you know,
Hey,
get a
Nancy and Bruce,
start on it. But
I need to hop off. My
bye,
I,
battery
Tom.
died
Good night.
before, and,
Good night,
and it
Tom. I'll
won't.
talk to you
okay.
soon.
My battery's dead. So
All right,
good night,
man.
everybody.
Thanks, Tom. We'll see
Thanks,
you, man.
Bruce. Have a
Night.
good one.
So
See
Jason's
you.
on. It's funny. Were your ears ringing today, Jason? Because I was just mentioned to you. I was talking to Mike from up in New Hampshire, and I'm like, I haven't seen Jason in forever, and here you are tonight. So it's nice to see. It's nice to see you, or read you, I guess. But
You,
yeah.
you know what else works great for a small hive bill or any type of larvae is if you got chickens, just set
Uh,
those frames or bust them. They love it, man. They eat those things up. But one thing I will say about hive beetles that I've kind of noticed over the years, I've had people tell me, because I have seen them attack the stronger colonies. But what I've kind of figured out, it seems like, is if I'm going through a bee yard and say I have 20 colonies and they're going through them, I'm seeing a couple beetles here, a couple beetles there. The bees are looking healthy. And then all of a sudden I come across a colony and I have 50 beetles in there. Even if the colony looks strong, there's
mm-hmm.
probably something, colony is probably sick.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to do a mite check or whatever on that colony, because what I tend to see happen is you come back in a week, even if you do go ahead and put mite treatments in there, and lots of times those colonies will die out. I think that that the hive beetles can smell disease, they can smell illness, they can tell.
Mm,
I think they're opportunists, kind of like, wax moths don't just attack a strong colony. It's just they're opportunists. And so that's why you have to manage space. If you go to a bee yard, I've got one location, it's Honey Hill Farm. I manage those bees for a friend. He pays me to manage his bees for him. And,
mm-hmm.
but if you go to a yard where they're in the shade, these colonies are in the shade basically. And so every hive tends to have hive beetles in it. And sometimes there's quite a few, but if every single colony looks the same, it's one thing, they might be healthy. But if you going through, if you got 10 colonies and one or two of them are just slam full of beetles, even if they look healthy, you're probably got a problem. You need to kind of figure that out, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't just I don't think they just gravitate to just some random colony that's healthy. I think they're gonna smell out the ones. This is my opinion. They're gonna smell out the ones that are sick or having issues,
Yeah.
whether it be due to mites or just whether it be due to a failing queen or viral loads. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm beginning to kind of sense that that's what's going on. Or even if they're weaker, even if they're queenless, or if they're a drone layer, whatever the issue is, if you don't crack a lid in a colony, it's the only colony, or it's inconsistently bad with beetles,
Mm-hmm.
there's a pretty good chance that colony's on its way out. I've kind of found that to be true, and it's not 100%, but that's just kind of what I've experienced a little bit. I've kind of
Well, I
noticed that more
noticed
the
the
last
same
couple of years.
thing. I noticed the same thing with yellow jackets. I noticed that the yellow
Oh, yeah,
jackets are going to go to the colonies that are
hmm
weaker.
for sure.
And then, so I don't set yellow jacket traps out, and I don't kill yellow jackets anymore, hornets, anything like that. I let them tell me which colonies need attention, or which colonies need to be, addressed, either
Sure.
combined or whatever. But yellow jack, same thing, same theory, is they're gonna seek out the sick, the underachievers, I guess we could say.
I think you're right. I think, yeah, opportunists called that for a reason, because they look for opportunities to take over a colony.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Get in there and see
So,
what's going on. Yep.
yep, got Beatles dig
It
deeper.
is. It is
So,
fun. This is, once again, I'm a little sick this way, but if I open up a colony and because many times the beetles are pushed to the top or out to the sides, and so you pull out a frame, you see beetles all in that outside frame. It's kind of fun to take them and just take that frame sideways and tap it on the hive next door and just squish all those beetles that come out. It's just hammer them, squish them,
pop,
knock them
pop,
down.
pop, pop,
It's
pop,
just that,
pop,
yeah,
pop.
that crunching sound. And that's kind of sick for me to say that, but it's kind of true. So, but I
No,
just
I
hate,
think
I
we all
can't
have
stand
it.
them. I hate them. That you know, mites are rough. They're bad, but they're so small. But the beetles, I just can't stand those things. I just really do hate it. And down here, it's just part of it. Down here, we have an issue with them. Down here,
Mhm.
it's so hot and humid, and so it just happens. But anyway,
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, well, down closer
mhm.
to Philly, they're really bad. I mean, you hear about slime outs often closer to the city than I am, and I just hadn't had it yet. But I had my first one, so I was a little maybe overzealous by destroying, but there was more going on. So I thought, you know what? I don't even want to deal with, I don't want to try to make this colony well. It's
Mhm.
beyond that. So
Jason has a great point
um
there. I've actually, I think that you know, dirt rooster. I don't think Yappy frames high of comb up anymore when they do cutouts. They basically just cut the comb out, suck up the bees, and then put the bees either on drawn comb that they have at the house, or just let them draw their own comb and start over. It is extremely stressful when you do a cutout on bees, and you know, if you've ever done that, there's honey dripping everywhere, and the brood is damaged, and so the bees have to clean up a big mess if you do put the brood in there. And that's how
mm,
people have been doing it for years. Is in theory it works, but if you talk to some of the pros now, like for example, like we said, you know, like Yappy,
yeah.
I don't think he does that. And I'm almost positive Randy doesn't do it anymore. Dirt Rooster, they just suck up all the bees. They put all the brood
Yep.
in a bag, throw it away, or whatever they do with it. I'm not sure what they do with it, and then they just let those bees kind of start over on fresh foundation
Y-
and fresh comb, and they feed the heck out of
You
them,
know,
and they do really well.
yeah. When I'm thinking back to Dirt Rooster's videos, you're right. It goes in a bucket, and then I think Elizabeth melts a lot of that
She
wax.
probably does. Yep.
I think she melts it down for whatever she does with the wax. I'm not sure she's, makes sells it maybe whatever, but I
It
think
also
that's what they do
saves
with it.
saves a lot of work in the cutout too, because you're not having to cut the comb and stick it in frames and rubber band it in. You can move a little quicker that way too, I believe. So yeah, and Jason says they rebound better. And
Yeah.
I don't really do cutouts, but if I do, that's going to be the approach I'll take. I'm just gonna.
Hmm.
I've had them do
When you
okay. The few
retire,
I've
Bruce.
done.
When you retire.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. I'm getting there. I really don't. I just cut out. I don't love cutouts. I just don't love them. First of all,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my genetics kind of a little bit more in line with where I want them. When you do cutouts, you
Hmm.
have no idea what the genetics are. And
Yeah.
second of all, it's just a lot of work. I can go make a split in 15 or 20 minutes, or less, or I can go out and spend 4 to 6 hours a day doing a cutout and not know what I'm getting, not know if they're going to survive. And
Hmm.
you know, you do get paid for that if you work it out ahead of time, you should get paid to do cutouts, which is some people, that's how they kind of help supplement their income.
Yeah.
But it's just not worth it to me. I just can't stand them. I don't mind going and helping
Yeah.
other people do them, but I personally don't want to be. I don't have the carpentry skills either. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the best way to cut
Exactly.
into a house is, and people that
Exactly.
you know, people can get burned if they just have a brand new beekeeper come to their house that knows nothing about carpentry work, and they cut into their
Yep.
house and they take the bees and they make a mess, and you can get burned that way. They cut
Contractor.
into a wire, they cut into something that's like weight bearing, or they just pull siding off your house that's not replaceable, or they
Hmm.
bust bricks out. You know, when the people who know what they're doing, well, last time you see
Yeah.
Randy and those guys, they go from the inside of the house. They know the best way to treat that structure so that they do the least amount of damage. And I'm just not skilled in that. I just don't know what I'm doing enough to be able to do that. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's not something I want to do. And that is true. Yeah. If I got serious about it, I'd go hang out with Randy some, or Yappy, or my buddy Rusty who does cutouts here locally. I just go spend time with them and help them and learn the trade a little bit. But I have my desire to do cutouts is on a very
Yeah.
low. It's very, very low. I just don't. I'll catch a swarm
Mm-mm.
occasionally if someone calls me. We had a water meter one like a half mile
Hmm.
from my house. A guy called me, and I just went and got him out of the water meter. But if I have to really put a lot of effort into it, they can get
Yeah.
somebody else to do that. So I did do
No, I
something
ask
different
them
this year.
if I
Go
can
ahead.
stand on the ground and touch the bees, and if they say yes, then I'm on my way. And then if they call and they have bees in the house, I give them some names of some real contractors, some
That's what I
insured,
do.
some guys that I know that are insured and are contractors and beekeepers. It's
Yeah.
the mix there where
Yeah.
they know what they're doing. Because you don't want me tearing something apart because I can tear it apart. I'm pretty good at
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah,
can't put
I
it
can tear it
together.
apart too, but can I do it in the most efficient way that's safest for the house?
No.
That's gonna make the person that comes and repairs it be able to do it in the easiest way. If it's an old barn they're gonna tear down anywhere, they don't care. In the
Yeah.
past, I've gotten a few that way, but I just don't want to do it. I don't even care about that anymore. It's just not something that I want to spend, a half a day or a
Yeah.
full day doing. I don't have time to do it when I can go make, 20 or 30 splits easily in a day. Why would I want to go spend my time
Right.
unless I just enjoy it, which I don't enjoy it that much. I don't mind being the helper, like I say, but being responsible for it's just not something I want to do. But I do have three really good guys here locally that can do them, and I'll usually just I'll send it out of my notes. I'll just send whoever asks for it. I'll send the three numbers and say good luck. That's what I do. I'll say, well,
Yep.
these people I trust, they do it professionally, and good luck,
Yep.
and I've had some good feedback from people that my friends went out and helped, and they usually they always do a good job. So
Hope it works out for you.
yep.
Yeah. That's kind of what I do too, because I'm not, there's just no way. No way I'm doing that. So,
I
all
hate
right.
Tom jumped off. I hate he had to jump off there because I didn't want to run him off the stream. So
Who's that?
Tom, I hate Tom had to jump off. I didn't want to
Oh, he's on
take
vacation.
over.
He's down in
Oh, okay,
Gatlinburg. So
okay,
his yeah, he was just on for a little bit. I forgot he was even going on vacation tonight. So he was on for quite a while, but he went back to vacation.
good, good. That's good.
So so Bruce, we had a giveaway with your honey and the new girl from Florida won. I will give you all that I'll give you her information. And
Okay,
then you and her are going to figure
I'll just
out
shoot it
that
to her.
part
Yeah,
about getting the honey and I'm not going to get involved in that so that she can buy more honey from you later or we want that connection made
okay,
is kind of why I was doing with Ryan from Peabody he gave away too so people had that connection to buy more honey and then we have Bruce should put it so the next giveaway is a $50 credit from Shenandoah Bee Supply. Bill Gardner, he sponsors me for this chat. So the down the bottom it's hashtag Bill. I wasn't going to try to get everybody to spell Shenandoah, but we have 11 entries. So if anybody wants to that hasn't it's only goes in one time so if you've already done it but hashtag Bill for the $50 gift card and it's a credit for his store so you go online or if you're close by to where's he Virginia he's in Woodstock Virginia so if you wanted to go to the store or you wanted to just get things off of offline. So let's see here. Are we ready? Is everybody in? All right, here we go. I'm going to push the button, choose a winner. JW. Ah, look, JW won.
oh, cool.
Yay.
There you go.
Cool. Here you go, JW. We'll have to get some ID. We'll have to get some verification on that one. That one looks a little spammy. No, I'm kidding. So JW, just get a hold of Bill. Pick something out. So hopefully next year I've got some offers now this week too. This is my first week of doing this. So thank you, Bruce. I kind of came to you first and you were gracious enough to be part of it and Ryan Peabody and then Bill. So I've had a couple people, yep, that's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. I did
It arrived okay in the bucket for you.
everything. Yep, the bucket was sealed. It was taped real good. And it was all identified, had all your stickers on it and had all the information and guy brought
Good.
it right to my door. and brought it in, and it was warm. It was still warm, so I popped that lid, and that aroma, that floral,
Do you
just
like that, honey?
it,
It's probably mostly tallow would be my guess. Do you like the flavor
is
of
it?
it?
It said, yeah. Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. So I did a taste testing. I got retirement community called me in, and I brought in a bunch of you guys, just a bunch of honey I got from the expo. You know, the trading, how we trade honeys. And then I had yours, and then yours I labeled up and sold that.
Okay.
So they were able to purchase that one, and then I got some from Minnesota from a guy Ames, I think the name was, out of Minnesota. Yeah, JW is a lucky dog. So they were able to buy that. And then others they just tasted, like Brian from Colorado had the creamed honey,
Yep,
and
ours
that
too.
was such a hit.
It is
They
good. Yeah.
People over here on the east where I live just don't seem to know what creamed honey is.
Down here either. Yeah.
They know what crystallized honey or thick honey, I think they call it, something like that. But yeah. So anyway, so I got some offers for some more honey next week. And then I'm putting in for some other bee supply companies to advertise and come on and talk a little bit if they want to. And so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
But all
I'm
right,
glad you
Bruce,
like.
thanks
Glad.
tons for coming on. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. And I'll see you in January.
All right. Sounds good, Nancy.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're gonna shut it down. It's 20 to 10, and I start around 7. So, but they need to sample it. Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks so much for showing up, and we'll see you. What's tomorrow? Oh, Bruce, you're
Yep.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Yep.
the stream
I
team's
think it's
tomorrow.
actually going to be supposed to be on Brian's channel. I think tomorrow. I believe.
Brian's channel. Okay.
I believe so.
Cool.
I guess we'll see. I think it was on Greg's channel last week, so it should be Brian's tomorrow. That's right.
There we go.
All right. That's
All
what I'll
right.
see y'all there.
All right. We'll see you.
Thanks.
Good night,
Okay.
all.
Bye bye.